Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Falco TCG here with another deck build. This deck build, I like to call it my Zaft Tribal Support Breach build, where everything is dependent on this man right here, Dual Gundam. I'm kidding, not everything's dependent on Dual Gundam. But this is the boss monster, Assault Shroud. And when it came to building this deck, especially with a lot of the decks that are out right now, Neo Zeon, Wing Zero, the Blue-Red Unicorn, kind of this greenish-blue Zaku Rush, but not really. You know what I'm saying? This is something I'm trying out, more of a low to the ground build, but hits very hard is what the end goal is here. So without further ado, it's good to be back. Let's get on with this deck list. And yes, I will start off with the boss monster and then work from like low cost to higher cost command cards, then bases, just so you kind of get the feel of the deck. But we'll start with the guy that's doing it all. That's Dual Gundam. When pair, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You may to play one Zaft unit card that is level 4 or lower from among them. Return the remaining cards randomly to the bottom of your deck. He's a 4/4, and paired with Ezok Jewel, he's a 5/5 with Rush. Paired with Atherin Zala, he's a 5/6, and that's pretty strong. I like this card a lot because, like I said, when you're playing against a lot of green decks, or you know, really Neo Zeon Rush Zaku decks in general, Wing Zero, when they're trying to build that blocker board up, this is really huge because all you need to get up to is 5. That's your top end. You don't need anything else. I don't need Justice. I don't really need any of that, because what I'm going for here is the tribal build, the Zaft build, because they all have really good support for each other. And this guy kind of brings it out with everybody. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna get to those cards, you know, when we get to them. But obviously, I'm going to run a 4 of the big man himself, Dual Gundam Assault Shroud. Now, to the lower bodies, you know, resource 1 up. You always want to turn 1 play, and that's what I want. So I have 3 of the goons, the goon squad I call them, the gooners. And I have 3 of the dins. Big boy 3/2 on level 2, cost 2. Tell me I'm going from the goon squad to din in 2 turns. I'm swinging at your EX base with goon the first time. I'm finishing it off with din turn 3. You know, I just got a little gooner kind of just pecking at your life the whole time. And it makes it pretty annoying because then you have to deal with him, which could leave din alone, and so on and so forth. Let me tell you, I am having a blast with this thing because it makes the opponent have to make a decision. Am I going to deal with the early rush first? Because I don't know what's coming in the late game, especially when, you know, I'm able to cycle. I'm able to look. See, of course, it's random, which is weird how it's phrasing, because you're putting 2 cards in the bottom of your deck. What am I going to just flip it around? You know what I'm saying? But, no, really good early game pressure with these 2. Next, level 3 and on, I got 2 of the Busu. Activate main support 2. Rest this unit. 1 other friendly unit gets AP specified amount during this turn. I'm only running 2 Busu because because of later in the video. So pretty much, you'll rest Busu. I can give Goon support too, so he gets +2 AP. So now he's a 3/2. I put it on Din. Now Din's a 5/2. That's some pretty oppressing stuff, especially early game. And you know, like I said, you're gonna have to make a decision. Are you gonna attack Din or Goon, or are you gonna go after the support? Are you gonna have to, you know, because regardless, I'm swinging with these guys. You put that base down, I'm swinging regardless. Next, I did have a 4 of, but I took one out. I'm only running a 3 of. That is Dual Gundam. One of these, pretty much Busu and Dual can come off of Assault Shroud. Assault Shroud is great. One, because of the Zaft trait. So you can put any Zaft pilot on it and it'll get rushed that first turn. But here's the better part. While this unit has 5 or more AP, it gains Breach 3. So if I have a pilot on him already, right? He'd be a 4/4, depending on the pilot. You can just tap Busu, make it a 6/4 or a 6/5 with Athrun. Now you're swinging at something heavy. You're killing probably a pretty good unit that they have on the board with Dual Gundam, and you're breaching 3. You're punching through that base to help your Gooners, to help the Dins. And another option that they have to swing at, because they don't want to see this thing on the board for too long, especially if all he's getting is support from the Busu, or just the appearance of a bigger threat. You know what I'm saying? Next, we're going into the level 4 cost 3 of the Buster Gundams. Buster Gundam. Activate main support 3. Not just 2. Now it's 3. Now Gooner's a 4. Now Din's a 6. Now Duel's a 6. With a pilot on him. Now he's a 7. And then if he's paired with Dirka, once per turn, he can restand. So they can't swing at Buster. Buster's a 2/5. You can't really pop a 2/5 off the field like that unless you're swinging Wing Gundam at him. But, you know, that's your whole turn. You breach 5 me, okay. What about everything else? You got rid of the Buster, which is pretty cool. Which is pretty good. But I have answers. I have answers for that. Next card, a 3 of that I had a 2 of. So the 4 of, I took one out because this was a 2 of. Now it's a 3 of. Blitz Gundam. Deploy. Choose one Zaft unit with 5 or more AP. It gains first strike. First strike. First strike breach. Support, dog. Support. Get in there. My goodness. Pressure, breach, low to the ground, affordable. I'm going second, man. I think I feel like I'm on top of the world because I'm where I need to be. I'm going second. I get to 5 faster. I can hold on to that EX resource that EX resource is my 5. I can use it for that, or I can use it for the pilot to put it on him, whatever you want to call it, man. And it gets first strike, dog. That's insane, dude. It's insane. I had so much fun. I went 2-1 yesterday. I lost to a tough rush. But we found it out. We found out. We learned. Next is our last big unit, and that's the level 4, 3 cost Aegis Gundam. I think this is the end of my units. Aegis Gundam, you already know from the starter decks. If this unit has 5 or more AP, choose one enemy unit level 5 or higher. It deals 3 damage to it. Get this bitch. First strike. You can deal 8 damage. Untouched. I'm just saying, man. A 5/5 that can just first strike and deal 3 extra damage. I'm just saying. My goodness. And that's it. Yes, that is it for the units. Now it's time for the pilots. First, we got Atherin Zala. Pretty simple, pretty standard. You can attack an active level 5 or lower creature with the Aegis with Blitz first strike. You already know. Next pilot, 4 of the Ezok Jewel. Once per turn, when an enemy link unit is destroyed with damage while this unit is attacking, draw 1 card. It has to be a link unit, so you have to swing at a big body, but that's okay because Dual Gundam's a big body. You can get that blitz on them, or you can pop a support, make it a little bit stronger so it can just hit that thing, but you would rather have the first strike. First strike is fantastic. Oops. Could be because the next card is the 3 of Dirka Elfman, the pilot 4-buster that when linked, discard 1. If you do, draw a card. So you don't have to do it, but it's definitely helpful if you're a little, you got an extra din or a gooner you don't want in your hand. Trash it, draw a card. Maybe at this point of the game, you don't need 2 Aegis in your hand. I think you'd rather have the duels in your hand over the Aegis. That's for sure. Just toss an Aegis, draw a card. Really good cycling. Can help you out in a pinch. And he's on a good card to pilot. Next pilot / command card, Stealth Stratagem, Nicole Amarfi. This one does go to the Blitz Gundam. Makes it a 3/4, but that's why Nicole's only a 2 of at this point, because I had the Blitz at that point. I had the Blitz at a 2. Add a 2. Now it's a 3. I'd rather have 3 of the Blitz, 2 of the Nicole. I think it's fine, just as a command card. My next command card, we have 3 of the Overflow Infections. This is the card you always want. This is the only card that's a different color and that is not Zaft. Well, like the second. Yeah, like the second card that's not Zaft, pretty much. But the first on this video and the only different color in the video. Next, we have 3 of the Close Combat and the 1 of the Battle of Aces. Now, I do want to change this. Eventually, I want this Battle of Aces to be 3, so I can use the Close Combat for a different deck that I'm building that I don't necessarily have all the cards for. But this, I love Close Combat. It's a great card. I love Battle of Aces. It's a great card. If you guys seen my last short, I pulled the Neo Zeon God starter deck. So I got some big foils of these Close Combats. So, yeah, man, I love that card. Next, we have the 3 of the Gamal. This is the Zaft base. Activate main. Rest this base. Choose 1 friendly Zaft unit with 5 or more AP. It gains breach 3. So again, we're just going to talk about Dual Gundam here. Being linked to Ezok Jewel, not only would it get first strike from Blitz Gundam, but now you can give it breach. So now you're hitting something hard. You're breach 3 in, you're not taking any damage, and now you're drawing a card. I love it. I love it. maybe you're giving it a little bit of support after that. Before that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta love it, dude. You gotta love it. I'm having so much fun. And the final card of this is the 3 of the Vesalius base. Now, I thought the Vesalius base did what the White Academy base did, but it doesn't. It's just choose one friendly unit instead of all your units get the +1. But that's fine, because say early game, you got the dual Gundam mount. Say you early bird a pilot on there. Let's say you put Dirka on there, or you put Ezok Jewel on there for the rush. You're like, shoot, I just need one more to get over the hump. You tap the Salius, it gets 5. Now it gets the Breach 3. Now you're swinging. But yeah, that's it. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know, you know, any cards you would recommend for this build. Let me know what kind of builds that you guys are experimenting with right now. What do you think is more popular, the Wing Zero, or I'd say the Neo Zeon? I think in America Wing Zero is more popular, but Neo Zeon's probably just the better deck in general. But man, you can do so many things with those Zakus, man. I'll tell you what. Thank you. Please like, subscribe, comment. I appreciate all of you. Have a great night. Goodbye.